Hello everybody and welcome back to Mage the Ascension the Victorian Age here on Dork Tales. I am your storyteller Kelly. Are you seeing him? And I'm very excited tonight because we get to get back into the action with Mage the Ascension and the Doves. So when last we left the Doves, they were inside of the diabolical cage and had just made their way through a rather high octane adventure where they were basically in the Musketeer era in Alexandre Dumas territory, and in the end discovered that the person that they were hunting for inside of the diabolical cage was none other than Vivian Freeman, Evelyn Taylor's mentor, who had had some horrible things happen to her in the ensuing time. However, that led to a bit of a memory gap, or a memory cap breaking, which we are going to be covering tonight. So quick reminder that tonight's game is going to feature some pretty negative things at times. So viewer discretion is advised for a mature story that will include themes of sexuality, lack of power, disempowerment, mild transphobia, and potentially some self-harm. If those are issues that are sensitive to you, please be responsible and view accordingly. We'll be here when you get back if you need to take a break, and we're not going anywhere. And if you need to skip this entire chapter, don't worry. Everybody who survives will be in a much more high-tailed, a much more high octane adventure in the next season. So with that, why don't we go around, introduce everybody, and then hop into the action, starting with Christine.
Hello, I'm Christine. I use she, her pronouns, and tonight I get to play Dr. Evelyn Taylor, our Society of Ether member.
Nice. All over in the corner, we have Amy.
Hi, that's me. My pronouns are she, her, or they, them, and I'm playing Chastity, Prudence, Goodwin, our Celestial Chorister / Cult of Ecstasy member. Also
Nice.
She, they, them.
All right. Down beneath you, we have Jen.
Hey, I'm Jen, and I use she, her pronouns, and I play Josephine Carrington, our Order of Hermes Bene Tharsis, who also uses she, her, but only mostly because of the times.
Yeah,
she really doesn't care.
It's just easier.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And finally, last but not least, we have Robin.
Hello, I'm Robin. I use she, her pronouns. I'm secondary gamer in the chat. And I play our lovely Verbena member, Darcie Harkness, who has her lovely familiar Bran, who I've made him smiling again, but generally, this is our mood right now.
I still can't find Octavius, and it's bugging the heck out of me. I don't know where I could have put him.
But yes, yep, this is great, and I can't wait to absolutely destroy this fucker eventually.
Everything's fine. What are you talking about? Nobody's doing awful things. There is no war in Bossing Say. It's a perfect day in Paris. All right, and before we hop into game, I want to do a quick thank you because tonight is sponsored by our good friends at Bookwyrm Games, who are the makers of such fine dice as these Mage the Ascension themed amethyst gemstone dice that just rolled a 9, which is pretty damn good. Folks, are you a dice dragon like me? Let me tell you, Bookwyrm Games has 168 plus different types of dice, from acrylic to resin, metal to liquid core, and even actual gemstones like these. You can get dice bags to hold your hoard and trays to ensure you're rolling safely when you're rolling actual rocks on glass tables and other things that these are absolutely harder than. Those of you who are geologists or aspiring earth scientists know that this is above wood and several other things on Mohs hardness scale. This will damage stuff, especially your players. You can engage all senses while gaming with their candy dice or themed scented candles. Try out their 5-set mystery boxes or even a monthly mystical item subscription with fun surprises every month. You can get 10% off by using code DorkTales. And not only that, but if you need a familiar like Octavius or Bran. I always think it's Braun. If you need a familiar,
and I second guess it every time I say
you second Gen it. You second Gen it every time.
I second Gen it.
You second Gen it. Sorry, Jen. I second Gen too. So you can get your own familiars at bookwyrmgames.com, where they have released a number of amphibious friends for you to add to your horde. Go check them out today. Use code DorkTales to save 10%. And I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that if you were in the mood for running a game for your friends, you could not do better than picking up a quest chest. Questchest.info has all the information about the Quest Chest Kickstarter, which has ended but is accepting late backers right now. Every quest chest engages your senses with a fully system-agnostic module filled with wax-sealed letters, metal coins, candles, actual tea, as well as narrated voiceover and custom music to set every scene. You'll find secrets hiding in plain sight and ciphers to let your players decode, and puzzles for them to bend their minds over. The first 2 boxes are available at bookwyrmgames.com, and 5 more of them are available for late backers over on Kickstarter. So head to questchest.info or go to Kickstarter and search Quest Chest today. Go back them, and if you pick up the ones off the website, be sure to use code DorkTales to save 10%. Besides that, I'm going to take a sip of my Bones Coffee Spider-Man edition. If only someone had a code that saved you 20%. Oh, look, it's me. Use code DorkTales to save 20%. Buy yourself some Spider-Man coffee if you're in the United States, because in Canada, we had to have Jen smuggle it across the border. Thank you, Jen.
I specifically went through the border crossing, and she's like, do you have anything to declare? I'm like, $200 worth of coffee, which was precisely how much I was allowed to bring back.
See, it's not smuggling when you're right.
All right, besides that, does anybody have any announcements that we need to mention before we hop into game? All right, the only other thing that I want to say is that Extra Life is coming really soon, and it is going to be a fantastic time. I hope that you all attend. It is going to be 3 days of fun on the 18th, 19th, and 20th of August, where we are all getting together to run 14 games over that weekend. That is 10 and 4. That is a lot of games with 29 players spread across those 14 games. Everybody from players from Dork Tales, of course, to Occultus Anonymous, Precarious. We have Ravnos Archon from McStabber Studios. We have some of the Fae Finders with us. We have just so many people. We have so many people. And many that you would know from onyxpath, including Dixie Cochran and Simon Kay are going to be here as well. It's a fantastic crew. I am going to be missing people by if I keep rattling them all off. So just assume that everybody's that you love is going to be there, and come and help us raise money for the BC Children's Hospital and the Children's Miracle Network. It is a fantastic cause and a deserving one. Plus, it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of Chronicles of Darkness games, a lot of weird games, and I'm playing in a lot of them, including a Call of Cthulhu game set in the Roman era. You definitely want to be here for this, and I encourage you to come. It's going to be on the 18th, 19th, and 20th of August, so set your calendars and be sure to come and support us and root for us as we bring chaos to raise money for sick kids.
I thought of something that's amusing to me. So if you, say, are working on the 18th and maybe can't turn on, Twitch to watch us stream games for a little while on the 18th anyway. In theory, provided I'm not an idiot and actually manage to get all my audio editing done, that will be the Paradox episode that has both Kelly and Travis Legg talking about Paradigm.
Ooh.
So that's going to be an exciting one.
Because
Feel
if you
free to
didn't
listen to that
know,
at work if you can't listen to us in Extra Life.
nice. So if you are not aware, Jen has a Mage the Ascension podcast called Paradox, a Mage the Ascension podcast that you should go listen to right now. There are ads for it if you're listening to this on podcast, which, by the way, season 1 is coming out in podcast. We're on episode like 4, 5, something like that right now, so definitely go listen to that. And the last Mage thing that I just wanted to say is that during onyxpath Con last month, I ran a game of Mage the Ascension set in 1999. That game dropped on our YouTube this morning, so please go watch it and leave me a comment. I'll respond, I promise. All right, and without further ado, I think we're ready to hop into game. Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. As you made your way in to the cell, using your imbued whip, Chastity, you removed that horrible mask. And as you looked down, the once more bruised, masculine face of Vivian Freeman. Memory began flooding through each of you. It was a balmy night in Paris when you fell through the portal on the other side of the bridge. Paris glittered. It twinkled. Unlike the fires that you left behind in London. The smell of burning and blood was still on you. Darcie, you were still bare. Naked and cold as you all fell to the banks next to the bridge. It was the four of you and Vivian Freeman. Teddy left behind to whatever fate awaited him. There was no end of screaming that night. Chastity panicking, futilely attempting to claw her way back through a portal that had long since vanished. Incoherent rambling about how we have to go back. We have to do something. We can't. But that begun to draw attention. You could hear the sound of onlookers even late into the night. Lovers crossing the bridge, ne'er-do-wells, begging for change or preparing a mugging in one of the alleys in the distance. Paris may be in the middle of the Belle Epoque, but it is still a large city, with many hungry hands and sharp blades. Some of your number, and Dr. Freeman herself, gathered you up. My place isn't far from here. Whatever we do next, we should go there first and seek shelter and then plan our next move, she said, her voice strained, husky and tired, but with a note of jubilance to it that may have set some of you off. Did anyone fight to head back to the safety of a house? Chastity?
So you're asking if we fought against being taken away to the house?
Yes.
I think so. I think she will try and put up as hell of a fight.
Okay.
I don't think she's very coherent.
In the midst of it, the other that was with you, so forgettable, Amelia, grabbed Chastity by the face. We have to go, Chas. Chas, we have to go. We can't help him here. People are looking.
Oh, right. We have to go and find a way.
Hey.
What do we do?
I don't know.
I don't know what to do.
And so you gathered your things up.
I think Darcie wouldn't fight, but I think Darcie's pretty much a stone right now. Like, she's not, she doesn't want to move. She just sits and she's crying, cradling Bran, and the knife that slit Mai's throat, and she's just kind of covered in blood and rocking back and forth on her heels, clutching Bran.
Does anyone have a spare piece of clothing to lend Darcie?
I think Evelyn will kind of stand and shimmy and get at least her petticoats off, and she probably has a chemise, like undershirt.
Okay.
That she'll at least slide part of that off to help cover Darcie. And then she'll
Josephine
support
has
her
anything useful
in getting her up and moving.
A few minutes pass. Darcie, you are pulled barefoot, barely clothed across the city. And soon, after cobblestones and piles of trash lying everywhere, broken beer bottles and wine bottles, all manner of bottles actually, you manage to dance between them, dimly avoiding the sharp shards and piles of horse shit. You will make it to a large apartment block. Vivian reaches into her bag and pulls out a set of iron keys, unlocking the front door. I have the top two floors. We should be safe here. Come on. She unlocks it and hurries up the steps. And soon you find yourself in a not lavish, but very comfortable apartment. The floor has been knocked out of one of the rooms. A stairwell that is sturdy, a wrought iron curling one, that goes down to the lower floor. The lower floor is mostly a sleeping quarters. That's the first that you head into. A number of beds lie in the room, as well as a large appointed bedroom off to the side. There are places for curtains to be set up. There are cages along some of the walls near the bedroom, small ones, big enough for dogs or cats. They're empty at the moment, although some of them are full of bedding. Make yourself at home. I've got beds down here, in a sitting room, and I've got my laboratory upstairs. I've got some old food in the cupboard. Mostly just cornmeal and other shelf staples. I might have some evaporated milk or something like that. Does anybody need any tea?
No, thank you.
Any eggs? I've got chickens upstairs. There's probably some eggs up there. I've been paying somebody to feed them the last couple of months. Or a couple of weeks.
Do you have a... She kind of just looks down at the blood on her hands.
Oh, Lordy, I absolutely do. Just give me one moment. And she'll go off and get a tea towel for you. Is anyone doing anything that night, besides reeling in shock?
No, pretty much just reeling in shock.
I think Evelyn's just investing herself in looking after the others as a way to stave off her own shock.
And Josephine's doing similarly, but leaving Evelyn to like the the emotional empathy side of things, which is probably funny.
Which is freaking hilarious considering she has none.
Right.
She just knows how to fake it.
Right. Oh yeah, fair. And Josephine is looking at security, so she's being the watchdog, basically.
Which I think Evelyn will see and not fuss about that then, and just let Josephine handle it.
Can I get a charisma plus empathy roll off of Evelyn? And can I please get a perception plus alertness roll off of Josephine? And can I please get a willpower roll off of Darcie and Chastity? Now, on that night, I believe you were down to 1 or 2 willpower max each.
Let me see if I can pull up my character sheet from before that
What's
book.
the difficulty on that empathy roll?
Difficulty is going to be 6.
Sweet, 2 successes then.
2 successes? All right,
Evelyn's
you can
great at faking this.
All right, you can fake
Perception
it pretty
too?
well. Yeah. You managed to be comforting with difficulty 6 for perception. You managed to fake being comforting without being cloying, without being too matronly. Just enough presence, just enough control, just enough help. And Josephine with 4 successes. The place seems pretty secure. You're on the top floors. There is a fire escape out the back. Someone could probably crawl onto the roof from here. The top floor has a huge glass roof that overlooks part of the city, that takes up a good third of the roof. It's quite lovely, and you imagine when it rains it would be fantastic. However, you're a little worried that if someone managed to break through the glass and the caked on bird shit, this could be an absolute security nightmare. But someone would have to make a flying jump across a 10-foot gap between the buildings to get here. Not impossible, but not likely without making a little bit of noise. Maybe. Looking around, you'll see that nobody appears on the street looking out the windows to be keeping an eye on the place. In fact, the streets are pretty barren this time of night, but what you will notice is well, you're still learning French at this point. What I will say is that you appear to be in a mercantile section of the city, largely actually a craftsman part of the city. You could see that there are a number of tailor shops around, a number of textile shops, a number of fabric stores all along the way with all sorts of French words that you don't recognize. A few people on the street you will see are people of color. In fact, there are quite a few people of significantly darker skin than you. In fact, you are definitely the palest people on this block. They start at you, Josephine, and work their way darker. Probably given your time in London, this is definitely one of the least Caucasian areas you've ever been in on Earth. It's probably quite nice again after all of your time in Concordia, where it's a very diverse populace.
It's true. And actually, probably with all of my time spent not on the water tanning, my tan has kind of faded somewhat, so I'm even paler than normal.
Nice. So that's what the place seems safe for the night, for sure. By the time the tea towels return, Chastity has just collapsed. You botched your willpower roll. Okay. So
What was the difficulty for that, Kelly?
Difficulty's gonna be 8.
Darcie botches as well.
Okay. Both of you botch, which means that both of you will just kind of slide into an exhausted, sleepy catatonia. I would like you, for the remainder of this flashback sequence, to treat your willpower as if it's 1 dot lower. You are exhausted, and it is very draining. Now, the next few nights passed in a blur. Breakfasts of toast and tea, walks around the city for those who felt comfortable leaving. Josephine, are you just going to stay guard dog the entire time?
I think I'm going to stay guard dog until I feel like Darcie and Chastity are a little more steady on their feet.
Okay.
She's feeling very protective, so yeah, probably.
All right. Evelyn, would you be going out?
I think until it felt like we were relatively secure, she wouldn't be doing too much unless she went out to get a few things in order to help with like making sure everything was secure and we had like magical protection and warning lines and that sort of thing.
Dr. Freeman will invite you out, and once Chastity is sleeping, Amelia would be willing to go out and go shopping for some supplies as well. So
Okay,
the three of you.
She would.
Okay.
Because she
Dr.
also
Freeman?
has some experiments and upgrades she wants to make in order to better defend herself and the others.
Sounds
also,
good.
just a reminder that in the room, Bran's probably willing to help guard Darcie while she's passed out, and Chas. So he's probably there to help protect as well. Keep an eye out.
So, Darcie and Chastity have a horrible few days. You head out onto the city, Evelyn with Amelia in tow and Dr. Freeman leading the way. She explains that you're inside of the Santé district. The Santé is the textile district, very multicultural. It's a melting pot inside of Paris, the second district. Particularly very, at this point, fairly middle class. And feel free to Google it and do some research on it, because it was nice actually discovering that this place existed. There are a number of helpful shop owners nearby that are willing to provide you with the staples and amenities. Dr. Freeman will... were you fluent with French starting off?
Yes, I believe... Or no, I was German, but I had enough French that I claimed a second merit dot for their language.
Okay. So Dr. Freeman will introduce you and say that you are a... she'll introduce herself as Vivian Freeman's sister. And will go around introducing herself as such, and you as her friend that's visiting from Canada.
I'll let my Canadian accent slip back in then.
Okay. She'll introduce Amelia as your cousin. You'll be able to grab a number of supplies, eggs, milk, all sorts. Even a little bit of ice for the ice chest. So, bringing that back, you'll head back in to the inside of Vivian's apartment, and you'll see that the girls are both spread out on one of the beds in the common area, sleeping rather fitfully. Nearby at one of the parlor tables, Josephine and Bran are sitting. A couple of cards out in front of them. Bran flips
Bran
one of the...
teaching me how to gamble. I had to learn somewhere.
You got any touche?
Go fish.
He flips a card over with some difficulty. All right, your turn.
Do you have any sixes?
Is there a mirror behind me? How are you doing this?
That's a yes.
You're not even a witch.
No, I'm a wizard.
He narrows his eyes and the front door is going to open at that point. We're back with food, Amelia says. There's a clattering, smashing noise right next to you, Josephine, that alerts you suddenly, spurs you to action as your teacup shatters on the floor. The cat glares at you and hops off the table.
You must stop doing that.
Stop cheating.
I wasn't cheating.
Then why wasn't I winning?
I don't know, were you not cheating well enough? Yeah, okay. That's what I thought.
The cat will run up and rub up against Amelia and Evelyn's legs. Did you bring the anchovies?
Of course, Bran. We can't afford to lose any more teacups.
An accord is met in our time. No more teacups. Did you get the Millionaire's brand? It's my favorite.
Of course.
Si c'est bon. All right. Millionaire's anchovies are in fact for sale in the 1890s, so that actually works just fine. You'll be
bougie cat over there.
Yep. So you'll be able to. It's like one of the only anchovy brands on the market these days. It survived the entire time, which is ridiculous. I like anchovies on pizza. I'm weird. They're good. Right? You know what's up. You know what's up. Rob, when you come visit, we're going to get anchovies. It's going to be good.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll have horrible breath. No one will want to be near us, but it'll be good. All right. So
stinky little fish.
I know, right? With that, you are going to just kind of unload, get everything put out and up, and Vivian will take everybody on a tour of the apartment. Like I said, the main level is an extra large apartment with plenty of space and corners to sleep. There are a number of different curtains and ways to divide it up, with basically little privacy curtains around the way. And then if you head up, you will be in a large laboratory. There is a small roof garden up top, outside as well. And there is a little winding screw hatch that will open the top, a top panel in the overhead glass skylight that will allow a number of birds to enter. Now, there are chicken coops upstairs. There are rabbit pens. There are all manner of rats up there inside of cages. There are a significant number of pigeon coops as well. And you can see that there are even more exotic animals that were once there. There's one cage with a writhing mass of serpent scale. That's serpent skin that's been shed. You think maybe an anaconda? A small one. Well, no, a python. A python. And, yeah. So that is what you are going to be introduced to. Plenty of place for Evelyn to work. There's also a ton of alchemical supplies upstairs, for those who are so interested. Now, they're chemical supplies, but alchemical supplies are neighborly, so that should be pretty easy. As well, there's a tool bench, a little metallurgy kit, and other tools that could be used by Evelyn to do some work there. And overall, it's a pretty chill week of recovery. She has a small but well-appointed library of English and French books, everything from Mark Twain to Alexander Dumas, and everything in between. There's a Bible downstairs if anybody is interested as well, King James, as well as a copy of the Quran. What are you all doing over the next couple of days? When do Chastity and Darcie start to find their footing again?
I think it takes a while. I think Darcie once she's getting over, once she's starting to process the grief of losing Mai, I think she goes into a very dark space, because she feels the guilt that she was stupid and naive and was the reason why she went on a date and got into this situation, and everyone came to rescue her, and because of her. So I think she gets into a very depressive, quiet spiral for the week, and then I think at one point she just has an explosion of anger, and
we cut to that. It's been... Roll me a d10.
Okay. 6.
It's almost a week later when an explosive fit occurs. Sitting around the table, you're in the process of stirring a cup of tea that was given to you. You accidentally stir too hard or too fast, and it sloshes over into the saucer. The next thing you know... Take it over.
I think just gonna see. Fucking this. Can't even pour tea right. You fucking stupid girl. You do everything wrong. You're just and she will actually get up, and I think she throws the cup across the room, and she like punches her fist into the wood, and she just gets angry, and I think she tries to just like destroy the kitchen in a fit of rage almost. She goes into this black state. She's like, you're not strong enough, you're naive, you're if this wasn't because of you, Teddy would be here, Mai would be here. You killed your mentor, you saw her murdered in front of you. And you're never getting her back because you fell for a stupid man who used you when you were so naive, and your parents because of this, and you just better be half dead, Darcie. You better not. You would cause so much problems. And I think she starts to almost go for a kitchen knife, and she's just like, I could burn up some pretty strong magic. Sacrifice is the most strong magic, isn't it?
In that moment, Robin, can you read the chat really quick and let me know if you're okay with that?
Yep.
Sweet. Evelyn's going to grab your wrist and slap you as hard as she can across your face.
Okay.
Stop it. We all made the mistake. We all let you go with him. None of us recognized what he was. It is his fault.
You're right.
And she's going to try and pull the knife from your hand.
She'll let it go.
Toss it in the sink. And then just pull you into a hug.
Oh, I think she starts crying again. But it's kind of the like...
It's the good crying though this time,
it's
right?
It's the good cry. It's the very...
The necessary?
Cathartic. Yeah. It's like she just goes into like an ugly
Evelyn's just
song.
going to be whispering in your ear quietly about all the revenge that we can get on him. All the ideas.
I'm going to make him regret ever targeting us and my family. He's going to know the pain of all of us. My sacrifice will not be in vain. Her murder And we'll find Teddy. It's time to stop moping. Do you think we could go out to the country for a day? I wouldn't mind just going off to somewhere with a hill, just to say goodbye to Mai.
At the very least, I'm sure we can get to a park. One that's big enough to forget.
There's a lovely place not that far away from here. You'll hear from the doorway. I can show you when you're ready.
I'm sorry for the kitchen damage.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure you'll fix it.
Yes, ma'am.
Glad to have you back, Miss Harkness.
Thank you, Doctor. I don't know where I've been this past week, but...
Well, you needed to be. And she'll walk away, leaving you to process in your own way. You make it out to a park. You say your goodbyes and start to feel a little bit better. The next week is one of a bit of healing for most of you. Chastity spent a lot of that time in bed still with Amelia braiding her hair, talking to her. You rested all, physically and mentally, healing yourselves. Josephine, how are you spending the week?
I figured that, at least for a bit of it, it's a good time to have Evelyn was going to teach Josephine entropy.
Okay.
And so we probably started on that when, the two of them were safe, but maybe sleeping, something like that. And the two of us would go up to the lab.
Okay. On the third week, Vivian, with Dr. Freeman, offers to start showing you around the city. To introduce you to other mages, if that's something that you'd like. Or at the very least, seeing some of the sights. She's been trying to speak only French around the house to acclimatize you. And soon enough, your minds pick it up very quickly. Even Chastity, not speaking it, just hearing it around her all day, will start to acclimate herself. Amelia actually speaks French, and at least passably, and will try to do little grammatical lessons to Chastity as she takes care of her. Would you go meet other mages yet, or would you rather go see the city?
Josephine is not wanting to go see other mages yet.
Mm-hmm.
So she'd like to see some of the city, and then I think she'll start going and exploring on her own as well when she kind of gets acclimated to some of the city.
Mm-hmm.
I think also once once everything starts settling into place a bit more, and Darcie's kind of snapped out of it a little bit, and at least is on the path to healing.
Mm-hmm.
And Chas is obviously having Amelia kind of focus and watch over and whatnot, so don't have to pay as much attention there. Evelyn is going to kind of, I think, not want to go out as well too much like Josephine, and just get a bit more in depth on learning from Vivian and working through some of the new magic that she's trying to pick up.
Sure.
So lots of magical conversations, maybe.
She'll have them late into the night with you. And she'll teach you anything you need. As the month grows on, well, there's a sense that... Can I get a perception plus empathy roll off of everyone except for Chastity?
Cool.
And I
I was
think
gonna say,
go for it.
I think that Josephine is trying to absorb as much like mortal mundane. She's had enough of magic for a while. Not entirely, because magic is part of her, but in that whole, that was a lot in London, and maybe I should just figure out what Earth people are like.
All right.
And I think Darcie will get into she'll get into a routine. I think she will like have a very set schedule of what she's doing, just to do something that's a bit numbing, but actually like getting out and doing stuff to try and force her to start being thing. But yeah, Darcie is a bit scared of magic right now, so she puts on a little bit of a she hasn't touched it really in this month, probably much.
Fair. Well, in that case, your paradox is going to vanish.
Evelyn might start quizzing Darcie on life-related stuff, like how the body works and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
To pull out more knowledge for herself, but it also engages Darcie in a conversation that is not necessarily directly with magic, but is tangential.
Yes.
Now, difficulty 6 on that perception and empathy roll.
Ooh, that's
2 successes?
Two.
2 successes, okay.
Just one for me.
You're noticing that there's like a bit of... Amelia seems a bit shorter. A bit distracted. You think that having to take care of someone 24 hours a day is probably starting to wear on her quite a bit. But she's doing her best to put on a brave face, even though she's exhausted.
All right, so making sure that all of us look after getting all her food, doing all the cleaning.
When you're around, she tries to take some time to herself, long baths. Even tries to go on short walks. On Sunday, she starts spending time at the cathedral.
I think Darcie will have Bran with her like 90% of the time, but I think she will have Bran go and comfort Amelia on her alone time if she needs like something to like pet and have that like kind of that warmth on her lap or something. Like she will encourage Bran if he wants to go and just give Amelia some of that like pet therapy.
Fair. As you head out to the city on your own, Josephine, you get a sense of the place. It's vibrant and alive and wealthy. There are private railway cars and fancy restaurants and cafes on every corner. And one day as you're walking, you'll hear the sound of carriages rolling around you, of people talking in the streets, of call and answer songs being sang in one of the nearby cafes. The sound of bells. It's quite a sight, isn't it? You'll hear. So what do you think of Paris so far? Better than London? Is it treating you better?
Yeah, I think it is.
You know the problem with Paris? Too many Frenchmen.
Perhaps, but it's
so,
different.
Bonnie Tharsis, are you then hiding yourself and wallowing in self-pity?
I'm not wallowing.
True, it's the other ones that are wallowing like pigs in shite. But not you. You're trying to learn some, what? Ars Fortunae? From someone from the Order of Raisin. Heaven forbid. You know, the Order of Hermes could have joined the Order of Reason. They offered it to us. On a silver platter.
Nothing's for free, though, right?
No, we would have had to spend the time with the feckin' craft masons.
She's left the Order, though. And chemistry and alchemy are very similar.
Oh, sure, they're kissing cousins. You aren't going to get any better learning from a scientist. You need to find a hermetic. Someone to teach you. Come on. Don't you want to see the city burn? 'Twas a wild trick you
using
did.
less fire.
Oh, are you supposed to be using less fire? Could have surprised me.
I didn't have a choice. It
Ah,
was
you
there
didn't have
and
a
it was
choice.
useful.
Aye, it was useful. We almost called down the straits on the both of us.
Maybe that's why I'm taking a break. It's not wallowing, it's just being smart.
Is it? Now, is it a conscious break, or is it just one that you're falling into? Do you know why you're abstaining? Or are you abstaining out of fear?
Are you gonna tell me?
You're abstaining out of fear. You're
I don't
afraid.
think so.
No, you don't.
I'm not afraid.
There's that fire. Good. So long as you're abstaining because you're sensible and not afeared. Because I tell you what, fear makes you sloppy. And if you're using the type of magic you used in London, and you're being sloppy about it, you might as well just follow Darcie Harkness's example and open up a vein. Give me to the next poor life. He grins at you, broad silver and gold capped teeth in a rotten mouth. There's the fire.
You just want to make me angry.
Aye, I do. You
Is
do.
anger not as sloppy as fear?
Not if it's channeled well. I need to be a bellow behind your sails, Josephine Carrington. Plus, I'm full of hot air.
Ain't that the truth?
Okay? A man who is standing at a market stall will say to you, "Excusez-moi, pardon?" He says, pomme de terre? He holds up. He holds up a potato.
We.
He hands you a potato. And Silver Eye Kiernan vanished out of the corner of your eye.
Yep.
You buy a bag of potatoes and return home to them. It's the most comfort that Darcie Harkness has had in weeks.
Potatoes.
Potatoes.
Oh
Josephine-
my god, you went there!
Josephine just comes in the front door like a little bewildered and just holding a bag of potatoes, and it's just like, potatoes? And then just like puts them close to the table.
Did you think I was missing a home or something?
No,
just
I
a bag of potatoes.
just a bag of potatoes.
The day after the potato incident,
Potato incident.
the doors will swing open, the curtains will go bright as they're yanked off to the side. And Dr. Freeman will say, 1 month to the day. Now y'all can keep, well, doing whatever you're all doing. Or you can come out with me and experience the city together. You don't have to meet other mages. You don't have to practice magic. But you do have to live. And between us, I got a lot of living I need to do. I'd like it if you came with me. Chastity, if you don't want to, you don't got to yet. But right now, we're using threadbare clothes that we're washing, plus a few slips that I had tucked away, and whatever Amelia could go shopping for. Now I've got some money put aside, and I was thinking that today we should all go get a bite to eat after we go shopping. Y'all need clothes, and if you don't feel like going, we can take your measurements and we can try for our best.
Maybe next time.
Well, all right. If that's what you want. Everybody else?
Chas? Well, I know just as well as you that we're grieving, and everyone takes grieving in their own way.
I don't need you to tell me how to grieve.
I'm not, but I'm saying you've
You're
been stuck in your
significant.
room a month.
It's not exactly
You
the
should come
problem, is
with
it?
us.
Like I said, maybe next time.
Amelia will look at you all with a little bit of concern. I can stay here. It's not a big deal.
No, you should go. You deserve it.
I do need to get us some clothes. You're smelling a little ripe. Like a beautiful fruit.
I'm not exactly sure that's true, but and Jess is gonna reach over and grab one of Amelia's hands and just kind of like hold it and just like go, be okay. Just go.
I'm not saying that I don't trust you, but I don't right now.
I'll be fine.
I want you to drink this, okay?
I can leave Bran with that.
I'll stick around.
Sure.
Also, Chess, I mean this in the nicest way. You'd need your time, I get it. But this kind of attitude is getting a little bit selfish, and Darcie's gonna head out the door.
Amelia is going to push a vial into your hand.
What's this?
laudanum. To help you sleep a bit while I'm gone.
Right, thanks.
Josephine is going to talk to Octavius and be like, if she tries to do anything stupid, restrain her. Thank you.
One of the tentacles will go up and salute you. All right, the rest of us, we should probably get going. Everyone's wearing their whitest whites and their cleanest bits.
I feel like Darcie has a cobbled together outfit that's like Vivian's old clothes that were left here, and like a combination. She's tried to sew some stuff in the month, so she just looks very patchwork.
Well, we'll do what we can. We'll try to make a day of it, all right? And with that, you all head out on the town. What follows is the best day you've had in a long time. The dark cloud of leaving Chastity behind hangs low over all of you, but still, it's a day on Paris. A late breakfast in a cafe, followed by 3 uninterrupted hours of shopping at Bon Marche. An immense department store in one of the most high-class parts of Paris. You are waited on hand and foot like visiting dignitaries. And a very large stack of francs is paid for you that day. Darcie, you're outfitted with a beautiful red top with a frill at the shoulders and a black bow. Evelyn, lace as white as driven snow. Chastity has purchased a fresh vest and fresh shirt, as well as some fresh skirts. And Josephine, you even get an upgrade for your hat and a frilled top. It's a very pleasant day. As you carry around your new hats and clothes, you feel a bit of relief. That night, Vivienne insists that you all head out. And using a little bit of clout from having saved up money, the fresh clothes that you change into, and being a contingent of mostly Caucasian French-speaking women, you are able to get a table. Maxim Paris, one of the premier dining establishments in the city. It is truly wonderful. One of the finest dinners you have ever had in your life. In fact, let's take a look real quick. Now, Maxim in Paris is located at number 3 Rue Royale. It has a beautiful Art Nouveau decoration, and has been for the last few years one of the greatest restaurants inside of Paris. The ceilings are done in stained glass. There are murals of nymphs on the wall. It is known for those with a little bit of knowledge. It is a place where one takes ladies but never one's wife. The culinary and social center of Paris. It is absolutely lovely. In the future, it would be a place that I believe Wolfgang Puck would apprentice at one day in the distant, distant future. I'm trying to find a menu for it right now, but I should have just used a picture
put a menu in the chat. I don't know.
So this is their modern menu, but just to give you an example of things that would have been there. God damn, it's a pretty restaurant. Everybody look up Max in Paris, okay? So let us look at their restaurant menu. So the current menu, which is going to be in French probably. You have a beautiful dinner of foie gras. You have figs with brioche. You have a risotto with saffron, Iranian style, as well as truffle risotto, of course. There is an immense amount of truffle everywhere in the menu, as well as actually, I don't know. So some type of poached egg with green beans. There are chocolate torts for dessert. There is a selection of dessert cheeses. There is, special types of fish, salmon, trouts,
Wine.
and even seasonal fruit. And of course, caviar. And a selection of wine. Burgundies, fresh from, well, not fresh, but Burgundies straight from Burgundy.
So, just a quick thing, because I was
Yeah.
curious. Omar de Bretagne is lobster.
Oh,
So
okay.
poached
Thank you.
lobster. Yeah, no worries.
Poached lobster. And Robin, can you
Yeah.
help me out? What type of wines would be here around this era? French wines, 1900-ish.
Probably just about any name that you're kind of recognizable, like Bordeaux and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Sure.
Yeah, like you'd have generic,
Champagne.
like when is Chateau Neuf de Pop a thing?
And definitely champagne.
Oh, totally champagne. It's a French wine.
Because it became quite dear every time there was a war in England. So even like, the Napoleonic War, champagne was a thing in England, and if you could get
Of
it,
course.
it was like you were smuggling high style.
Smuggling high style. All right. So you have an absolutely fantastic night out. It is enough to regenerate whatever lost willpower you would have. Meanwhile, Chastity, what are you doing back at the house by yourself?
So it's Chastity, Bran,
and Octavius.
And Octavius. I think how this will go is that once she's sure they've all cleared out, she's gonna go and sort of kind of any expression or emotion she has is kind of just gonna like fade away. So like that flat, like emotional that she's been kind of verging on this whole time. And I think she's gonna go back to her room. She's gonna go freshen up. Kind of like in a bit of a daze. And then I think she's gonna use the laudanum as a focus to start doing some mind effects on herself.
To make herself forget?
Not kind of.
To numb herself?
Yeah, so she's already kind of got that numb of just like over emotionally, like over impacted, but we're gonna switch it the other way to making it so that that part that hurts just isn't doing anything anymore. So it's like on the verge of forgetting. It's like, oh yeah, that thing happened in abstract. I know it happened, but it doesn't matter right now.
So literally compartmentalizing.
Yeah, she's fully taking that and she's gonna shove it all in a nice little box and she's gonna just lock it all up and she's gonna be normal.
You drink it, you pray. And the last thing that we see is Bran sitting on the windowsill from where he ran around the side once the door shut to watch you as you look in the mirror. And for the first time in a month, smile. But it's not a real smile, is it? And it begins to rain lightly outside. And with that, I think we're going to take a quick break. Folks, we'll be back in 5. Don't go anywhere. Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is the part of the program where we talk to you, the chat, for about 5 minutes, and then we'll hop back into game. All right. Oh my God, you guys all rolled the same thing. Reroll if you rolled the same thing. Actually, sorry. So I'll say Jen reroll and Robin reroll. Okay. So. Boop. Oh, that makes it perfect. All right. And then Jen, and then Christine. And so, hey, everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome over. I appreciate the follow. Thanks very much, Dice Legends. Good to have you over here. So, folks, this is the part of the program where we talk to the chat. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns about anything, please let us know. A quick reminder as well that we are coming back for Extra Life on the 18th. You definitely want to be here for 14 games of fun. I'll also be over on Dice Legends in a couple of days. I think my first shift is on, what time is it in Canada time? So if you are in North America, you will be watching me over on Dice Legends on the 7th, around 9 p.m. is what I have, where we are doing an all clerics game for their amazing D&D, like, which is the best party game, or which is the best class party game. It's gonna be class overtures. It's gonna be great. So what else do we have coming up? Folks, Phandelver is in full swing. I have just bought my ticket to go visit my mom, so I'll be running the first game of Phandelver from Kansas. So that'll be fun. I'm just thinking of how I'm going to pack that. I'm like, do I have to check my luggage? I'm going to have to bring like 2 different I'm going to have to bring a microphone stand. I'm going to have to bring a camera stand. I'm going to have to bring a green screen.
I took a microphone stand and microphone, or I was going to take a microphone stand and microphone in carry-on to Halifax, and it's fine. They just get confused when they're like, what is this bar-like thing in your bag?
Like a camera stand and a mic stand. I'm a content creator, and they're
fine.
like, you're above 30. And I'm like, yeah, I know. God, I was looking at a list of like the top YouTube creators, and it's just, if you're above 33, you're just not there anymore. You're just not there. Like, I'm looking at like all my favorite creators. They're like 33. And then there's Hank Green, who's like twice my age. But who is going to be on Dimension 20, which is ridiculous.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, Jen pointed that out to me the other day. It's nice.
Cool.
I'm so excited.
I'm glad.
I still haven't caught up on like Dimension 20 series, but I really want to watch that one.
Honestly, Hank Green deserves a win at this point. He's had a rough year. Actually, you know what? I mean, he's had a rough year, but it's a good rough year. Like, it could have been a lot worse.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. Well, he's doing pretty well considering. So that's pretty great. Okay. So it is, we're going to be heading back into game in just a minute, but I just wanted to say thank you all for being here for Mage the Ascension. We're going to be taking, about a month off. We'll be coming back in very early September, I believe, is our next game, because we're away at a convention, and then we're away doing
early-ish September. It's like the second weekend in September, because I'm busy the first weekend.
Yeah. Everybody's busy on the 26th of August, and then it'll be, I think, 2 weeks in, right, is the day, so...
Yeah, it'll be the 9th and the 23rd. Not 23rd, because I'm busy. The 30th?
Yeah. August is
9th and the
month.
30th in September, because my SCA weekends dominate that month.
Yeah, it's really true.
It's fine. I also have a busy August. I have my sister's bachelorette next weekend, and then the end of August is a pre-harvest party with my work. So
yeah, but I think Jen's busy on that night anyway, so it was kind of like oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I'm gonna say like
busy.
it's like for me, like August is also kind of like very busy for some strange reason.
But yeah. After September, at least my SCA schedule quiets.
Yeah, after September, it gets a little easier. I'm also excited to say that I'm putting together a cast for the upcoming Planescape module. So that'll be fun. We've got at least one player who is going to be playing a sexy fox, because the art is There's a sexy fox. It's weird. It's really weird. The first ad for Planescape I ever saw was this fox that was trying to seduce me. And I was like, what? And it's the foxiest player. So other things that are going to be fun. What else do we have that's coming out that's going to be a lot of good? Oh yeah, if you're on our Patreon, then you get to watch Demon the Descent, as well as Hunter the Vigil Summons, as well as we just recorded the first episode of Alien today. We're doing Destroyer of Worlds, which is available on Patreon soon. We also have, Jen has done all of the work editing the first episode of Dork Tales the podcast. Now that you've listened to the whole thing, Jen, what do you think of the first episode?
Oh, the first episode's great. I kept cutting clips because they were funny. Like,
I remember
cutting them and saving them as clips.
Bitch.
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 What happens when you've got what, satyr sorority girls? Batch. So I just have to score it now because it's gonna have like ambient music in the background and stuff. So that should take, I'm hopefully going to have that done by Tuesday this week. And up by the end of the month or at the very beginning of next month. Also, quick reminder for Patreon, at the $10 tier at the end, starting in August, probably like the first week of August, I'm going to start releasing modules that I'm going to have like little one-shot modules that I'm writing for it. And I was actually wondering, and I'll have to talk about this fully, whether or not I should just like modulize Dreams of Arcos.
Ooh.
Because each episode takes about 10 pages. So
yeah.
I'm not sure. I could. Yeah. I've had some requests to put out my Requiem series as a as a module for people. But the problem with that is that in Party Monsters, the one that I ran, that Amy was in with Chris, Caitlin, and Winter, I don't own the IP for one of the monsters I used. So like it's something I created, but I wrote it for my friend Sam's studio, None More Dark Publishing. So I don't actually own that IP, so I can't publish it really with those rules because I wrote it for someone else. I got paid to do it, right? So I can't really put one of the main antagonists in the book. So I'm not sure how to go about that. Yeah. So I don't know if anybody has any ideas. Hit me up in the Discord. Also, join the Discord if you're not already in the Discord.
So obviously you're putting out the first, or the Strixhaven stuff you've done.
I'm going to be putting that out. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to divide it in half because it's like 20-something pages.
Oh
but,
yeah,
like,
release like one, like modules are released as like little things, right? So you should do each break. We got a different cast and a totally different thing. You wrote like 2 separate modules for that.
Yeah, they're really big. Although they do rely on the first a lot because there's that 20-piece random events thing that can happen, which is just great.
Well, yeah, but you can just copy paste that into.
I can copy paste that into both. I also need to double check because our friend James did maps for both, and I need to make sure that he's okay with me publishing those. Or if I need to somehow, I need to pay him for those or something. I'll have to figure something out. I might just have to buy him dinner, which is fine.
Give him credit.
Yeah, well, because he's designing some other stuff for. I'm designing the map tomorrow for Arcos, but he's designing the map for the upcoming fights that you're going to be having in Shards of Nirn. Which, guys, I know we're at the end of 5 minutes, but can I just quickly say how nice it was slipping back into those old comfy shoes in Shards. I missed her so much, and it was so nice just to slip back into Farah and just be like, oh, I'm my girl again.
Yeah.
Right?
And all the trauma it caused everybody else.
Yes, thank you for that.
It caused her trauma
that
too.
My character doesn't know, but Robin
You don't
does.
know. You don't know. Hello, onyxpath. Good to have you here. Hey, you got here just in time. We're about to head back into game. So, folks, everybody follow the onyxpath. They're a great company. I'm not sure who was running their game, but I have a feeling it had something to do with Travis. So, hello, whoever was running over there. And also, everybody go check out Awkward GM Corbin over on YouTube, because we just did a Chronicles of Darkness Jeopardy. It had some tech problems, but it was fun, and I don't want to spoil it.
I think a highlights reel is coming. I think he's working on getting the
Is he working on highlights reel? Oh, that's great.
He's working on a highlights video for YouTube. So
Oh, congratulations
should
on
be up.
finishing Changeling tonight, guys. I hope you had a really good time. Changeling. I wonder if I'd do that in the future. Let me know, folks, if you want that. Put it in the Discord and in the chat if you want Changeling the Lost from Dork Tales. Yep. Anyway, I don't have ideas for that. I have ideas for everything. I'm manic. All right. Any other things before we head back in? All right, let's bring on the trauma. Time for the trauma llamas. Also, folks,
that's 2 weeks or
That's
2
a
weeks
different
next week.
mage game.
Next
Almost
week.
like I don't think Nolan was here. I'd be scared if he was.
welcome to Nolan the Victorian Age. Pip, pip, have some laudanum in a Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Instead of like more dots in mind, Nolan's like, hey,
Time for
bunch
some
of
time
time
magic.
magic.
Yeah, Marianne of Balador just gave him time 5.
Right? She can do that.
Whoa, what
That would be
did you
deeply
do to
terrifying.
Marianne of Balador?
I gave her the
What
drama
was that?
llama.
That's true.
He said no, and she was like, I respect that.
Thanks, you can have the mama llama. It's the biggest llama.
Oh my god.
It has other llamas inside of it.
No.
It's a
Those
mama
toys
llama!
always terrified me as a kid.
What did?
Those ones where you get like the dog or the cat or whatever and had like a whole bunch of teeny tiny ones and you had to open up the stomach and it was like Velcro or
Did
something.
you think that they ate them?
No, I just found it deeply disturbing that it's like,
You
why are you
gotta
storing these in here?
You gotta stab it open and
You had to stab it.
Because you
Tear them
weren't
out.
just taking them out. So like when you were done with them, you were supposed to put them back. And it's like there's just something deeply unsettling about this. It's always like, is this is this a Star Wars situation? Like, are we like
No, it's a Chronos situation. Every
It's a,
successful man eats their children in
it's
Greek
like
mythology.
a Voltron situation where they all take a limb.
see, that's just a disturbing puppet because they're all still physically there on their own inside like they're not
Yeah.
forming a larger thing. They're
Yeah.
puppeting in that
All right.
case. And that's
Yeah.
also
We're going to head
scary.
back into game, and I'm also
Puppets.
surprised that if nobody doesn't clip me saying every successful man eats their children. So I'd be very surprised if that doesn't get clipped. But hey, I think it's time for us to head back into game. on that.
Chronos.
Chronos. One successful man. All right, let's head back into game in 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome back to Mage the Ascension the Victorian Age, here on Dork Tales. The next few weeks go by swimmingly. Chastity starts to come a bit out of her shell and see the city. Darcie, you begin going around during the day, experiencing the city as well. Evelyn, you start to work on all manner of inventions. Fixing up your umbrella. Doing all manner of science and research through the small library that Dr. Freeman has on hand. Josephine, you even get out and meet some people. Along the river there are people willing to hire women to do a little bit of labor work. Not the heavy stuff, but definitely some of the smaller things that are a little too high profile for children to do, perhaps, but are a little more dexterous than a lot of men would be able to do. Smaller spaces, things like that. You'll actually be on a boat for a change, doing little river cruise work. And of course, the men are a little bit vile and a little bit willing to put the pass on you, but a couple of broken noses fixes that. Right proper. Darcie, you begin going out and looking for places to read and places to study. Through Vivienne Freeman, you are put in contact with an old Frenchman. He's pushing into his 60s, and he is named Julien Fauch. He meets you for coffee one day in a little cafe by the Seine and has a nice conversation with you, talking to you in accented English. He talks about his time abroad, spending time throughout the British Isles and through Spain, and a little bit of time that he spent up in Scandinavia when he was learning from the Berserks and from well, some of the sorcerers up there. A bit of women's magic, he says. Enjoying a nice cup of tea with you. Well, cup of coffee, let's be fair. He smiles and says, "So, I heard that you were looking to get in touch with a coven. I could do that for you, if you would like."
Yes, I think it's time, yeah. I've recently lost my mentor, and I'm looking...
You mean, what is her name? May?
Aye.
We have met once, during Beltane, perhaps 20 years ago? A lovely woman. Very strong, very fiery. I'm sorry for your loss, and the loss to the world. She was a strong witch and a good woman. Quite a hellion, if I may say.
Aye, she, I aim to be like her when I get to her age as well. I don't think she ever acted...
You have a long way to go. She was,
Well, I know.
Did she ever say how old she was?
She never told me, no.
120 years old, at least. Perhaps more?
I guess I better get all my studies then.
Yes, you probably should. She was very old, but she, what is the word? Kept it, tight. She was very fit. What? It was Beltane, trust me.
Oh.
Speaking of which, there is a Beltane coming up. If you would like to go, it is going to be held in the Northern Lands. Actually, this year it is going to be held in Gavaldon.
Yeah, I would certainly. I would certainly be interested. Yeah. Wait.
It is going to be a very tricky affair. There are, how you say, werebeasts there. Gavaldon is known for its wolves. We are going to try to work with them to form some type of alliance against the Order of Reason. It may require a bit of aggressive negotiations. How aggressive are you feeling, mademoiselle?
Lately I've been having a bit of, especially against the Order of Reason, I think I could be quite aggressive.
Cool. I will put you in touch. There will be a woman named Solène Leclerc.
Solène Leclerc?
Yes. She is a witch. She works as a flower girl near the tower. You can see her. She's very pretty, long blonde hair, a very pinched face, like someone grabbed an ivory doll and went, "Oh, you are so pretty." Yeah. She's very pretty. She looks very young for her age, though. She is maybe 25. She looks maybe 15.
Oh.
She uses her coquettish nature to pick the pockets of tourists. But do not let her small stature fool you. She is a powerful witch.
I've learned. I do not. I do not judge people by their size, monsieur. I, for one myself, am not the tallest as well. And
Yes,
I would
but
like
you
to
are
try
obviously
anyone
very
that
womanly.
underestimates.
If you ever wish to have dinner, there are a number of great places in town. I would be happy to show you around Paris.
I don't mean any disrespect when I say this, sir, but I've gone through a very bad situation.
You are
with,
still acclimatizing to Paris. Perhaps you will consider me to be an escort once you are more acclimatized. I don't want to rush you. He smiles. The man across the table, he's very bald, basically wearing a beret on top and a long brown coat that hangs down. Besides that, in face, I'd say he has a long nose, a little curl of hair around the edge of his scalp that's gone gray with time. If anything, he looks like Patrick Stewart.
Oh, amazing. Now I want to trust him instantly. Damn it, Kelly.
Ah!
The next villain.
Spare an
Darcie falls for.
Spare an old man's ego. Eh? But if you need anything at all, remember.
The last time I spared an old man's ego, I let myself almost get sacrificed. So
In that case,
I will give you a
harsh.
chance.
When you are ready. Huh? In the meanwhile, garçon, wine, s'il vous plaît. Welcome to Paris. And sure enough, he will set you up with Solène Leclerc. A small coven is formed under Solène. No more than 3 other members. And a few hedge sorcerers and other cultists. Through her, you will go out on one memorable night down into the bowels beneath Paris. The old catacombs down there are a wondrous place for a ritual. And there, under a new moon's light, you watch as they do a series of evocations, meant to bind old spirits, to ward off ghosts, and to purify a possessed girl that was brought to them. You assist, and find a moment of sisterhood among that. Meanwhile, Chastity, you end up spending a little bit of time out as well. Amelia finally drags you out and takes you to the number of gorgeous cathedrals, but none are quite so gorgeous as Notre Dame. It is there that you spend some time with her, praying, staring up at the gorgeous stained glass and the architecture that is truly breathtaking. It is there that you meet a nun named Sister Sarah. Sister Sarah is a bit surprised by you and your dual affinity, but takes care of you well enough. Is willing to talk with you about things and pray with you about things. But it is in the night that you end up spending time out. Do you actually go out, actually? I need to know, do you spend any time at restaurants or cafes or places?
Yeah, I think she
Speakeasy
starts actually
style?
going out and exploring and living and getting to know what Paris is like.
You meet, we'll say, a man. At least that's how they style themselves. Out one night. There's a little bar not that far from the Montmartre district. It's full of the strangest, most eclectic people. Writers, artists, and one person who wears fishnet stockings all the way up to their bare pantaloons. A full tuxedo tail with a bound chest, a very slender, hairless cheek with a painted-on mustache. This person sings, does performance in this drag persona. They call themselves Remy Barbeau, and put on a deep French voice when they perform, and sing sultry songs while dancing atop a piano in this weird between gender presentation that drives the crowd a bit wild, if we're being fair. Off stage, Remy relaxes their voice a bit and speaks in a tawdry American accent. Remy is not afraid to buy you some drinks. And talks a bit about where you come from. So you're from New York?
Yeah.
I'm from Boston, actually.
Boston.
From Boston? Yeah. Do you like the French accent? I put it on for the show here. It's pretty nice,
do.
right?
Yeah.
You know, you could do it too. I could use a brother up there.
I think I need a little bit more of this in me to give that a shot. And she'll like hold up a glass of wine and like swirl it a little bit.
Hey. You don't need that. Wine slows you down. What you want is this. Here, for a rainy day. She hands you a cigarette case. Silver. Cheap silver. Sterling. Inside of it, you'll see that it's full of powder.
Oh,
A little snuff.
Can I analyze this? Like, get an idea?
Sure,
if I
make
know
me an int plus vice roll.
Vice? Yeah.
Difficulty 6.
Yep, that's one success. Oh wait, I forgot. I only rolled the vice part. I
So-
forgot to roll the int. Oh my god. Crap.
Does a New Englander call it cocaine instead of powder? Call it chata?
They call it powder.
That would be 3 successes then.
All right. So you will see that it is absolutely cocaine.
Ah.
It is absolutely cocaine. He leans in and goes, fresh from Colombia. And I don't mean in New York.
Got it. Well then.
You know what they call it, Peruvian marching powder. It good. Keeps me going. Just try not to take too much. If you start getting nosebleeds, you want to lay off a bit. But I tell you what. It'll make, it helps with your time magic. They wink at you.
Got it. And
Especially if you gotta go fast.
Let's get this party started.
If you want to party, I'm here to party. The
We're
bender.
just gonna...
Sure, the bender begins. You're going to spend quite a bit of time. You are going to be, well, drinking with Oh boy. At one point, there is a strange man with a long curly mustache that you end up a ridiculous mustache named Salvador that you end up drinking with. You are going to meet an Englishman named Ernest, who is a real thuggish brawler type with kind of cauliflower ears and a thick bent nose, as well as quite a few other people at these establishments who are, well, let's just say that everybody else is going to know who they are by the end of the year. Meanwhile, Josephine, you spend time working around and practicing a little bit of seamanship. And it's then that you are approached as you are docking in along the river one day by an unassuming, homely woman. She's bookish, rail-thin, with a long, curved nose and pockmarked cheeks. Honestly, her face looks like the bright side of the moon. Flat, bad pores, not particularly straight teeth. And yet, she radiates a chill, even in the spring day. As she walks along early spring, the grass that grows between the cobblestones next to the water seems to chip away as she walks on them. "Excuse me," she says in a very flat accent, just the barest touch of French inflection to it. "Are you Josephine Carrington?"
I am.
"I am Carol Landry." "Bonny titulus." "I had heard that a bonny Tharsis was inside of the city. If you would like to spend any time at our chantry, you may do so."
Thank you.
"There are not many Tharsis left in Europe. We have one here, from the Barbary coast. You should meet him. His name is Jezreel al-Saladin. I think you would get along, given your reputation."
I'm sure we will.
"It is an open invitation." She'll hand you a folded envelope. Perfectly crisp. "Oh. I have a message for you. Your parents would like you to check in with them more often. Your father, he worries about you. Bonsoir."
Bonsoir.
And finally, Evelyn. You spend tons of time working, developing things, and it is on one such day that there is a knock on the door. And you'll hear a voice from the street echo up at the inside of the house. "Bonjour! Allô? Vivien? Vivien!"
That seems at least probably friendly, so she'll go check if she's in the spot where she can stop.
Absolutely. Looking down on the street, you're going to see that there is a fairly good-looking man, a little bit chubby through the face, wearing glasses, clean-shaven with kind of scarecrow, straw-colored hair, who looks up, dressed in comfortable clothing, nothing too rich, but with a briefcase, medicine bag style briefcase in one hand. Excuse me. You are not Vivian. Are they home?
No.
They are not.
I am not.
Excusez-moi. I am Pierre. Pierre Favreau. I have a delivery of chemicals for the doctor.
I believe, yes. They were waiting for that.
Of course. May I come up and deliver them?
Certainly.
Excellent.
She will go down to open the door.
I did not know that, he smiles kind of gap-toothedly at you, like, I did not know that, that the doctor had a new assistant. I heard that, the doctor was back in town, this past month.
More of a colleague.
Fair. Well, please tell Dr. Freeman that I was able to supply the herbs that were requested. And also I have this. Here, it's easier for me to show you. Do you mind?
No.
He'll reach into the bag and pull out a strange round creature made of impossibly soft fur with a rodent-like face that is unbelievably cute.
Is it a chinchilla?
They call it a chinchilla.
Oh my goodness. It is so soft.
It is from South America. It is very, very interesting. It bathes itself in volcanic ash, which I brought some.
Interesting. Just gonna poke it.
It's going to like kind of just swat at you lazily and then clean itself with its like...
Does it eat anything in particular?
The usual. It's a rodent.
Yes.
Be sure to keep it clean though. Its fur is very dense, and it can how you say mold. It can molt, like cheese.
Yes, I understand.
Do you speak French?
Oui.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
And
So
then she'll just continue the conversation in French.
excellent. He'll come up and start setting all of these chemicals down, and they're all manner of strange chemicals, as well as some nitroglycerin. Yeah, some interesting supplies here. There's a number of herbs, a number of rare things that were brought on a supply run to South America. Are you also formerly of the Order?
You are quite the colleague of Dr. Freeman, then.
Yeah, apprentice. I only recently came into myself, but luckily I was never part of the Order of Reason. I was instructed by my mentor immediately upon my awakening, Dr. St. Ives.
I see. Dr. Freeman did give me a way out. Not that they particularly care for women all that much.
Even pretty ones like yourself?
But you are pretty only. And your brain's only good enough to write their papers for them.
And then they what? Put their names on it?
Yes.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. I'm very sorry about that. It must have been very difficult for you.
It was not particularly pleasant, no.
No, but now you are inside of Paris, and you're doing well. Yes. How do you like the city?
It is quite different. I'm originally from Canada.
I'm originally from Nice, so I understand. It is even inside of France. It is a very different place. So many people, More than 1 million. Can you believe it? In one place? Almost 2 million. I hear that by the exposition in a couple of years, it will be 2.
I definitely understand that number of people in some areas, but the parks are glorious.
Oh, yes, the parks are great. Have you gone on any of the carriage rides?
No. And she's gonna just kind of keep pulling information out of him about like the area and the mage life and
he's going to chat amiably with you. And midway through the conversation, like as it's getting animated and you're both having a really good time. He's a charming young man of about 30. He's definitely a little flirtatious, but in kind of a nerdy way where he doesn't know what to do with it. Definitely the scientist type. If anything, I'd say he's kind of like a 30-year-old Tobey Maguire, Peter Parker, that kind of vibe. And in the middle of this, as he's kind of going through this, the door will open and Vivienne will walk up. Pierre. Pierre, good to see you. And he'll turn and... I'm sorry? Nice to meet you as well, madam. Oh, I think we're very acquainted, Pierre. She will smile at him.
Magic or science? Whichever you prefer.
Vivienne? Vivienne, I prefer. Now. Can you make me a perception roll? Perception and empathy?
Does detail-oriented apply?
Yes, it will.
Okay. Great, because I have no empathy.
I have 1 success.
What was the difficulty?
Difficulty is 6.
That's 4 successes after exploding 2 10s.
He seems very shocked by her transformation.
Okay. Shocked negatively? Like kind of, ooh, shocked, or...
A little bit off-put. He definitely clams up. Well, your delivery is here. The time. Your apprentice or colleague is very, very charming. And unfortunately, I have spent all of my time conversing with her about no matter of things. I should probably go. I have brought the things that you requested, as well as a chinchilla. Oh, good. I've been wanting to see a chinchilla.
Evelyn's been holding it this whole time. Just like...
It's quite adorable. Well, I will see you again. Au revoir. He will quickly head out, bumping into Darcie on the way down the stairs.
Once he's clearly out of earshot, Evelyn's going to warn Vivienne.
They'll have to get used to it.
Be careful. Men in particular.
I think I know men. Dr. Taylor, I did masquerade as one for quite a while.
Yes, but have you been on the receiving end of being a woman in a man's world?
Make me a manipulation plus empathy roll.
That is the perfect response, Christine, because it is.
That is.
What's the difficulty?
So true.
Beautiful.
Difficulty of this? Oh, I'm gonna say 7 because she doesn't want to believe it. You got 2? Okay.
So, 2 dice.
Okay. So she's gonna give you a bit of a look, and wow.
You were a man in an already lesser position due to a minor thing like skin. Men who believe themselves superior to you tend to not like being uncomfortable and like to deal with that discomfort, regardless of who it hurts.
I will keep that in mind.
Just be careful.
Thank you for your concern.
Men like to lash out. Like
well, I have better
toddlers
news.
time, which luckily you weren't infected with. You had very good sense.
Yes, I had the very good sense to be born a black man in the southern United States. And I had the good
Not
sense to get the
infected
fuck
with
out.
general male status.
I am very thankful that I met you. You have a kind heart. All of you do. It's worrisome. Beautiful hearts, but I do worry about them being broken.
So, I see you received nitroglycerin.
Yes, we're gonna blow some shit up.
Lovely.
And tomorrow night I have a special surprise for y'all. We're going out partying.
Ooh.
The next night comes with a fury. For the next night, you all head out and find yourself at the Moulin Rouge. Now, the Moulin Rouge is, and always has been, a wonderful display of decadence throughout Paris. Even today, in the modern world, you can still go there and enjoy yourself, but it was the birth of the can-can, the birth of so much entertainment. In fact, at this point, it is, and I'm going to mispronounce this horribly, the Bal des Quatre Arts. A scandalous display with a live nude Cleopatra strutting their stuff on the stage. It is a den of iniquity that is a fantastic display of lust, debauchery, at least by standards of the Belle Epoque and Victorian era. There are dancing girls everywhere, can-cans on the left, the right, full, you know the song, dun, 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 dun. I don't have the music clip, but you know what I'm talking about. It is a night full of excitement and merriment. And you have a fantastic time. I would like to know what you're doing during this presentation, during this show. Are you just enjoying yourself, getting drunk, enjoying yourself with a little bit of substance? What's going on?
I think that last one is Chastity, probably.
Okay.
I think Evelyn's enjoying like a glass of wine and otherwise enjoying the show with a bit of a flush on her cheeks because this is not what she's used to seeing.
I think Darcie's like, she's kind of going off of a men phase right now. So I think Darcie's just like, I think she's looking for the first time really at women in a different light. And she's kind of just like, what am I feeling right now? I think Darcie's like getting drunk because she's like, I don't know what I feel. I don't know what I'm feeling. I don't know how I'm processing this. So let's fucking get to the bottom of this.
Fair. Chastity, what about you? You had your hand up?
Yeah, so I think also in addition that Chas is gonna go and try and talk to some of the performers afterwards, like see if she can like swap notes or just like get some information from them about like not exactly tips, but kind of just swapping notes on.
I want you to make me a manipulation plus vice roll or a manipulation plus performance roll.
It's gonna be vice, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Add +1 to your dice pool because you are high as balls, and that's going to make you super social.
Cool. Then does my guile specialty and manipulation count here?
It will. Actually, never mind. Let me lower the difficulty to 5. instead of giving you an extra dice because
Okay.
I, for some reason, went Chronicles of Darkness in my head.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so difficulty of 5 and okay, one sec.
You said that there was like additional just debauchery and whatnot around.
People are doing things in dark corners. People are absolutely... actually, can I get a perception and alertness roll off of everyone? Difficulty of... Pardon me. Let me get a perception and awareness roll off of everyone at a difficulty of 8.
Does resonance apply?
It may.
All right, cool. I'm gonna.
And I need to pull this out for the first time tonight.
For my manipulation and
So you said
and dice
awareness.
rolls, that
Yes.
that combo was 6 successes.
So
I
you
know,
head
it was-
backstage,
Nice.
and what type of tricks are you trying to learn?
I guess just sort of comparing notes of like how to like get and hold attention, like poses, like how to like pull off a certain like attitude or look.
So the stage performance is this amazing full nude show of this exotic kind of vaguely Middle Eastern woman. She's gorgeous with long, basically the model of Cleopatra, the blunt cut black bangs, the serpent bracelets, as she undulates on stage doing this slow and sexy dance to a sultry cymbal or maraca heavy like finger cymbal swaying music. She rolls her hips and stomach like none of you have ever seen before. And Chastity, she is happy to pass along some of those tips behind the scene, as well as if you're asking other ways to do to keep attention and certain exercises that you can do to make yourself more dexterous, we'll say.
So I think part of this is sort of taking what she can and figuring what she can use as a focus as well for casting magic.
Absolutely. You will now know how to belly dance,
Fantastic.
and you'll learn kegels, and among other things.
Beautiful.
Darcie, it is quite a show, but at the end of it, there is another show that immediately follows, and it is this lascivious can dance with a slow, swaying woman in the front with beautiful hair. It's pink like cotton candy and flows down in these ringlets. She's wearing one of those little half corsets that ends just at the top of the rib cage. Everything is hanging out and painted, just so it's not quite nudity, with a little bit of tasseling on top. Feather boas adorn her shoulders, and you can see freckles along them. But along her pale skin, they sparkle like twilight. And stars across the twilight sky. As she is dancing, she is going to take one look in your direction. I need to know, what were people's successes on awareness? 5 successes for you. Okay, 2
re-rolled
for...
With that, did detail oriented apply at all?
Not for this.
Okay.
So 2 for the other 2 of you. And thank you, Bookwyrm, for these gemstone dice I'm about to roll. What's your willpower score, Darcie?
I'm currently at 5.
Okay, so... No, what's your total?
Oh, my total is 6.
Cool, so I'm at difficulty 6. Okay. Well... Alright. Oh god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 8 successes.
What the shit?
So, this beautiful pink dyed hair woman is going to dance on stage, trying to do her best to follow up the performance. She's going to wander down into the audience, dancing, swaying, kind of shifting her hips atop, kind of hovering them over the knees of gentlemen who are watching, all of them magnetized in their seats. But it's you. She keeps an eye on you, Darcie Harkness. Josephine, you feel a tingle up your spine. Evelyn, how many successes did you get?
I was actually going to say that Josephine's gotten bored and she's looking for other stuff to do.
That sounds great. Josephine, over in the corner, you'll see that some people are drinking in the corner and socializing. But you'll also see that there are a pair of men sitting in one of the back darkened corners, kissing. Rather aggressively. In fact, one of them has buried his head into another's throat and appears to be kissing it quite aggressively. And you are going to get a chill up your spine as you watch him.
Okay.
Evelyn,
I was hoping for like gambling, not vampires.
Now you're gambling with vampires.
Ah!
What did you get on your roll, Evelyn?
3.
3 successes. All right, as you're sitting near Darcie, you are going to get this strange feeling up your spine as this woman saunters forward. She shakes and shimmies her hips and swings her barely clothed bottom, actually over your knee as well, before setting directly down on Darcie's knees. Still crooning a little song, she leans her head back and whispers in Darcie's ear. Darcie, every sense in your body, including your magical senses, are going completely haywire. As she smiles up at you, leaning back, putting her head against your upper breast. What do you do?
Okay, so all my senses are going wild in like a good way or a bad way?
Is Darcie is exploring her sexuality. So
Totally.
So there's something funny going on from her. But also this is incredibly arousing.
Yeah. Oh god. Man, why does poor Darcie just wants to explore sex and she keeps meeting people. Darcie's
her safe person radar is broken.
Yeah, her safe person radar is very broken, and I think she's gonna go with it because she's probably had some imbibing and absinthe, and she's kind of just like.
So the woman is going to lean forward and smile at you and push her lips next to yours, not touching them, and take a deep breath and lean back almost all the way to the floor. The crowd's going to chant and cheer at this point, and then she's going to like basically completely contort till her hair is dragging on the ground, and then do a full sit-up and push her lips next to yours, breathing in again, and the crowd gasps at it. And then she goes down one more time and presses her painted pink lips onto yours and breathes deeply. You are going to lose all of your temporary willpower.
Okay.
So you will be acting on nature alone. And this is an incredibly good feeling.
Okay.
In fact, as she brushes her lips against you, it is like she siphons every bit of raging emotion out of you and into her. And I would like, let's see, what spheres do you have? Do you have mind or spirit?
No. No.
Okay, so Evelyn, you're watching this.
Life force is prime in time, baby.
Okay, so Evelyn, you are watching this right next to you. Is there anything that you're going to do?
I'm watching carefully because it tingled off my magic senses.
Oh yeah, this is big time tingle.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of be trying to look and figure out what's going on. So I feel like she's gonna probably cycle some of her sights. Just, like, changing glasses and adjusting.
I think
changing lenses probably in a glass.
Now I have to remind myself what you use for this. I believe it is Spirit can do this.
I happen to have 2 dots of spirit.
Okay. Can you make me an Arete roll just to see if you can?
Oh, with my Arete 4.
That's true.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is like 4.
Haha, well, I got 2 10s on that, so... that is going to be 6 successes then.
6 successes?
Well,
okay.
I got 2 5s, a 6, 2 10s, and a 9.
So, as you are cycling through your visions, you are going to... Would you have lenses or something like this?
Yeah, I think so. I think she's got a pair of glasses where she can kind of discreetly just, like, slide the lens out and put a different one in.
Okay, so you are going to take a look at her, and at the very least, it is going to flare up as you look at her, and one of these lenses, you are going to see as she pulls her lips back and grins, you see her, but you see another layer, and her lips are split from the nose down into these 2 little furry lips with long front teeth and drooping ears that hang off the back of her head.
The fuck?
She looks like a rabbit. Like a rabbit woman.
Weird. Do I
Perhaps.
have... Can I roll something like Enigma or Esoterica?
You can roll... Do you have a cult?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you can make me an Esoterica roll, a difficulty 8.
Okay, what would I add to that? Intelligence? Or
Intelligence.
Okay. Does deductive apply?
Yes,
Sweet.
because you're trying to
That's
deduce.
really easier. And difficulty was
Difficulty 8.
8. Okay, so 3 successes.
3 successes? You know, you've heard stories of those with other personalities, other magical beings bathed and hidden in the bodies of mortal children. Fey creatures left
Like
in
a
the play.
changeling?
Like a changeling. In fact, there is a type of fey creature with animalistic tendencies known as a puka?
Are they typically, like, not interested in harming people? Like, can they do what they do without actually hurting, or...
It depends. It depends if they are of the Seelie or Unseelie court, usually, according to traditional mythology.
Okay. Is Darcie looking okay from what's been going on?
Darcie... Remember when you used to have those wonderful nights with your husband, James? And he would do something particularly well
fucked
at...
out.
She looks like she might have just had a great minute a moment ago.
Okay. I think Evelyn's gonna just lean into the performer and just be like, as long as you do no harm, I have no issue with others. But don't hurt my friends.
The performer winks at you and crawls off Darcie's lap. Meanwhile, at the back corner, Josephine, you're watching that couple necking in the corner, but you can also hear the sound of, well, shouting outside, exuberant shouting.
I'll go check out the exuberant shouting.
In the alleyway outside of the Moulin Rouge are a group of men and even one woman playing a game of dice.
Ah. I'll watch. I'll see if I can determine the rules of the game.
Sure, it seems like it's a rudimentary form of craps.
Cool. Jen doesn't know craps.
Kelly doesn't really know craps. I know that 7's good. Nobody knows craps. You don't know craps. If you think you know craps, you don't.
Hard 8. Hard 8.
Hard 8.
Just always throw a hard 8.
Just always
the
throw
hard way.
Yeah, box cars, kids. Yeah. So you can get in on it if you want, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you took the gambling skill, didn't you?
I did.
Okay, so I want you to make me a wits or dex plus gambling roll.
Cool. I will do wits, but I don't have, or I can't use my specialty because I am not on crisis.
Crisis, put all your life savings down to get the 10 again.
And then roll 0 10s, because that's how that works.
Would you like to use Entropy 1 that you've been learning?
I would, yes.
Okay, so go ahead and make me an Rattray roll, difficulty of 4.
That is the most chaotic roll I've ever rolled. So thank goodness for rerolling 10s on magic rolls, because I rolled 2 10s and 2 1s. And that is a fail, but not a botch.
Okay, so go ahead and just make me a gambling roll, please.
Okay. I rolled a 3 and a 2 after that. I was like, what?
Beautiful.
But that is difficulty 6 for this?
Difficulty 6?
3 successes.
3 successes. All right, so you'll actually end up with a pile of money at the end of the night.
Oh, yay.
Chastity, you will have a wonderful time with the performers backstage. And Evelyn, as you watch the dancer get back up on stage, the performances will come to a close. And it's at that point that you will, well, it will be time to clear out. There is still a number of events out on the street, a number of places to go and drink and have a wonderful time. And as you step outside, grabbing Chastity and bringing her along, perhaps, Darcie, you feel yourself wanting to go back in, a little thirsty for more. You step out onto the street and encounter Pierre, as well as a number of other well-appointed gentlemen walking down the street conversing. Dr. Freeman. Dr. Taylor.
Were we told? Would Evelyn have warned us about Pierre?
Evelyn would have told the 3 of you for sure, because Vivian was not taking it that seriously. She would have filled you in for sure. Quietly.
Okay, Darcie's on alert.
There are quite a few men there. Their names aren't really important. Pierre, a sandy-haired man of about 30 with a slight softness to his cheeks, well, it's a pleasure to meet you out in the streets like this. I hope you are having a wonderful time.
Yes, we've been getting to see a little bit of the Paris nightlife.
So this is what you have done, Dr. Freeman? Says, excuse me, Dr. Taylor. I am Dr. St. Ives.
A pleasure to meet you.
A pleasure to meet you too. You look different, Dr. Freeman. This new look is unexpected. I am surprised Pierre did not mention this before. I did not think it was relevant. Dr. Taylor, I have read some of your work, or at least the work that I hear was borrowed by your husband, Dr. Morgan. You should come by the academy sometime. I would like to see some of your work in progress. We are coming back from a private symposium tonight.
Oh, was it, stirring?
Very. Allow me to introduce your other colleagues. This is Dr. Langhorn. Charmed, I'm sure. And this... He turns and the camera will pan over a shoulder. This is Dr. Escoffier. The man smiles.
So, what do you all do?
Science.
Yeah, I know science, but what do you do with the science?
And a slow, methodical voice will come out of the one named Dr. Escoffier. We heal people. We fix the ill. Like all good doctors should.
That sounds very noble.
Of course. Science is the most noble cause of all. Good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
I know it because this is a flashback that it bears absolutely nothing on what has happened, but Josephine would like to try and like mask our trail on the way back.
Sounds
we're not
good.
Easily followed.
And I'll just make a note that the others have probably not really seen Evelyn do this before, but upon being introduced to other doctors, male ones, abruptly her personality shifts into just like
No
very
nonsense.
reserved, very non-committal, very
Oh.
like masking hugely.
Yeah.
Well, they seem nice.
They always are.
Do you
In
always
public.
quiet yourself down around men like that? Supposedly your colleagues.
It's better not to challenge them until you're in a position of power. And being too smart is a challenge.
I couldn't agree more. But we'll show them.
We will.
It's a few weeks later that you get the call. Another symposium. This time at a very prestigious mage location. The Parisian Diners Club. A private house where they serve, we'll say, interesting items. Have you ever wanted to taste the flesh of a chimera? Have you ever wanted to dine on the curry made from a chupacabra?
Not particularly. In fact, I think when Evelyn sees the invitation, she's going to kind of go, ugh, politics.
You go through a night, and there are a few women there. Not many, but there is a woman at the table with you. One that introduces herself as, pardon me one second. I've got to pull that note. Oh my god, this notebook is like so full. One who introduces herself as Miriam Bardini. So what kind of science do you two do? She sits at the woman's table with you.
I prefer to focus on chemistry in particular, and the various ways of transmutation through that.
I'm working on electricity.
Oh, Oh, very exciting. I've had some stuff to do with Tesla coils recently.
Oh, Tesla is a hack.
That doesn't mean his product doesn't work.
And how about you, Dr. Freeman? Are you enjoying your biology experiments? She says, an edge of scorn in her voice.
I think Evelyn's expression is just going to close. Still going to look polite and friendly, but there's a certain amount of like eyes just go cold.
I am quite enjoying it, thank you. I'm doing a series of experiments on improving the waterproof capacities of fur. Looking to make aquatic horses. I thought that seahorses already existed. Why make something that does not need to be something else? Isn't God and nature made things perfect the way they are? No need for any type of vulgar transmutation.
I wonder at your interest in science, then. For surely
Because
it's exploring and changing what God has created.
Because I deal with
Naturally, we
electricity.
should just go back to the medieval period.
I mean, isn't that the way that life is in the New World? Over in the colonies? Barbaric.
Bigotry, it's the same everywhere. Thank you.
Perhaps you are right. Perhaps I got up on the same foot as some of these men here. We should not be enemies. We should be allies in the face of chauvinism. I apologize.
Precisely. Thank you.
They're very fiery in Canada. Perhaps I should go sometime.
You would not be disappointed. I believe the cities can quite rival Paris.
This curry is too spicy, though. I'm going to get a beverage. I'm going to wine for everyone, maybe?
That would be appreciated. Evelyn is not going to consume like anything without checking it over with matter at this point.
Sounds good.
And life. Combination of matter and life.
Sounds good. And as you are going through, and the meal is quite pleasant, and as it goes on, there are a number of scientific advancements that are talked about on the stage. We've figured out how to transform ether into electricity and back again, but also to store it in physical components. TAS can now be turned into a battery that can power electrical devices, but also can be used to create raw minerals from scratch, and so on, things like that. They start doing all of this just scientific sharing.
Evelyn's going to make notes on how potential experiments to improve.
However, unfortunately, we have a bit of a problem that has arisen. It appears that by the laws of the Society of Ether, some inhumane experimentation has occurred, which we cannot allow. There is a difference between scientific advancement and the blasphemy and sickness that we see in this room. I think we should probably go. And as Dr. Freeman tries to stand up, she begins to waver in her feet. And so do you, Evelyn. There's nothing in your food. You checked it. But in the distance, you can hear a piano playing. This melody that echoes through the air. And it seems like it gets caught in your mind. Like it clicks over and over in place. And Miriam Bardini leans over to you and says, "It's for the best. It's what he needs."
Do I have enough ability to say something back?
Yes.
You must fucking hate the verbena then.
And with
Bigots.
that, a cloth covered in a very potent chemical is held over your mouth.
Oh, I'm gonna destroy them all after this.
And the last thing you see as your eyes fade to black
Anybody want to remake the Society of Ether?
is Vivian looking at you with wide eyes and hearing words echo out of the man you know to be Dr. Leon Escoffier. "Fear not. I'll release you when your mind is cured." That night, Evelyn Taylor was delivered home, unharmed, unmolested, not a hair out of place. She just drank too much at the party. But the next morning, as she vomited into the toilet, the memories came flooding back. And one by one, you told them all what had happened. And as you all seethed in rage, a halting knock came at the front door. Who would have answered the door?
I think Chas might have.
Chastity, there's
Or
a man at...
I was gonna say potentially Darcie might have offered to bulk up a little bit to answer the door.
But I mean, like,
Unless-
Chas would have happily gone down and just slammed it open and didn't. What?
A chubby-faced man with glasses and straw hair stands at the front door. I'm sorry. I'm Pierre. I'm
Did
Pierre Favreau.
What did you do?
I didn't know. I don't agree with what Dr. Freeman did, but I don't want him to... I don't want...
Her.
Fine.
Her.
Fine, her. I don't want... I know where Dr. Freeman is. I know where they took Dr. Freeman.
Where is she?
Start talking.
Dr. Freeman is at a facility in the countryside. Dr. Escoffier's estate. An asylum.
Look, you may not have meant for this to happen. You better pray to whatever god you believe in, if you even believe in one, that she makes it out of there unharmed. While we go fix this.
If not, I may have to use your blood for a little bit of verbena of blood magic.
I wish you the
I'll use
best.
all of it.
It is a place outside of Paris called the Voliere.
So it's even called a cage. That kind of
Yes.
indicates the intention. Don't you think? And if it's so wrong, so unscientific, maybe you should broaden your mind. We are still mages. Most of the traditions can do something like that. I have seen people turn into cats. It is possible. And if you don't do it to somebody else, why does it matter what you do to yourself?
There's a right way and a wrong way to live. Is what
Oh,
I...
stuff your disgusting bigotry and get out of my sight.
Perhaps your
Just
way is the wrong
You don't
way.
seem like a chorister to me.
If you say another word against this,
Sorry, Chastity, but it is
I
more God
will-
speak than anything.
Only from
I will turn
ignorant.
you into something you don't want to go. I
They're
will
supposed to be
mess
rational.
with your limbs, and I'll make you feel so much pain.
He puts his hands up and reaches into his vest pocket and pulls out a small brass key.
A key to the cage.
To the gate.
Excellent. You better hope we all make it out. In one piece.
And while we're gone, broaden your fucking mind.
You're a scientist. Apply some reason. You are disturbing like a faith for an apprentice.
I wish you luck.
Thank you for attempting. At least late, the right thing.
And with that, he will leave.
And she's
as
gonna move
quickly-
on.
I think before he has a chance to leave, like right at the end, I think Chas is gonna lean over and say, I mean what I said, but there's a chance to do good here and do the right thing, regardless of what you were taught to believe and taught to think. There's always room to learn and grow and change. Think about what you can do while we fix this part. I
Okay.
believe in people.
Believe that Dr. Freeman deserves better than that place.
So do what you can while we go in and do our side. Please.
And he will hurry out. With that, you will turn and all look at each other. And the key to the gate. And it seems obvious. Chastity, you couldn't rescue Teddy. None of you could. Darcie, you couldn't rescue Mai. None of you could. Evelyn, you couldn't rescue James. And Josephine. Well, you can't let them go without you. And so you look down at the key And as the key goes out of focus, we instead see a broken lock on the ground. And the huddled form of Vivian Freeman lying in the prison cell.
We get her out, and then we burn it to the ground.
And I think that's where we'll call game for the night.
Oh,
Did you guys enjoy that?
oh, that was great.
Yeah.
I'm just like, amped up on anger right now.
I
It's just
know.
like, just get fucked already.
I
know.
do.
So
Body.
much fury.
I hope that people enjoyed that. This has been something I've been very nervous, but I think that it's a worthwhile story to tell. Once again, I know this is not necessarily my story to tell, but the more stories of anger against bigotry, the better, in my opinion. So hopefully everybody is okay. Just quick post-game check. Does anybody need to talk about anything?
I really wish I was still kickboxing because I could have really used punching a kickboxing bag,
Right? I know. I kind of just want to like.
and also like
Good.
just getting to kick a bag feels really, really good when you hit it right. It's just like, oh.
Mm,
Right? Oh, hey folks,
true.
thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I hope that you enjoyed that. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to Bookwyrm Games for bringing us those wonderful sponsorship that they do. I do want to thank in particular y'all for being patient during this episode. Thank you, players. I think that it gets easier from here because now it's all about hurting bad people
Yay!
and helping healing.
Yep.
I just
but-
really want to be like, at some point, I kind of feel like Evelyn needs to get a chance to like grab somebody by the neck and pin them against the wall type thing.
Yeah.
Of like, if we weren't hurting you, why do you care? And just
All right.
really deal with them.
So
Yeah,
tonight was
I want Darcie just to fucking just go on a little just rage.
do it, Darcie Smash. So
Darcie
folks,
smash.
tonight the chat bought you 3 experience, and I'm going to give you 3 experience for a total of 6
Awesome.
because you earned it because it was a rough episode. I want to quickly thank, while you are looking at that and things to spend, I want to thank all of our patrons at patreon.com/dorktales who allow this game to happen. To watch an additional 5 or 6 episodes of Dorktales per month in advance, including Technocracy Zero Sum, go to patreon.com/dorktales, and for as little as $5 a month, you can help keep the lights on here and keep streams like this going. We also appreciate it if you sub on YouTube and sub on Twitch. It's always lovely. A quick thank you to our highest patrons, such as our divine producer, my mom, who I hope doesn't watch this episode because I don't know if she'd get it. But we love her anyway. To Precarious, who is guest starring over in our Alien game that's going to be going on the Patreon, who is our demonic producer. Thanks, Funkle Breck. To our Wizards of the Patreon, who definitely have enough arete to cast supportive magic. That would be, of course, Tammy the Forever Cleric, the Ink Goblin, and Eddie Isaacs, and our High Council of the Patreon, who would never do anything this vulgar, and are going to prosecute most of those Society of Ether members as soon as they find out about it. That would be Terran, Buddy, Amethyst, Cubby Gummy, Raven with Baubles, Karasha Urquhart, Chef Eladeth, Larouk, Sorcerer Sanguine, Mike Baxter, Kalen Whitebeard, and Jade, the Maker of Monsters. So thank you all for being here. Rip and tear. Let's destroy these mothers. Fathers? I don't know.
Also, I just want to say this was I really enjoyed this episode, Kelly. Thank you
Did you?
so much. Yeah, no, it's great. I liked seeing the flashback because it felt like when we went through that really rough end of book 1, and you asked us a bunch about like, oh, what we were doing in Paris, and then it was like, oh, it felt like we kind of went to it but didn't, because you said like you time jumped a couple months in advance. I was like, so I was wondering when that was coming back. So it was really nice to actually get and like kind of go
Yeah,
through that
like a lot of
process
that happened. Like you had your seeking there during
I
that time
know.
too, right?
I
And there was a
know.
lot
So
more that we
it's-
just didn't do because it wasn't relevant to the plot. but like I'd say about 3 months passed before
I
the
think
events of the snatch.
Yeah, I really liked having this episode. I think it was great to get that establishment. It felt like it definitely
And
it
I
was a
feel
really
like,
nice addition.
looking back on this, so while the last couple episodes were in future of this, I feel like this one definitely gives me reason to have bought up Intimidation too.
Yes, I think absolutely.
Yeah.
This is definitely a way to buy up your tough skills. And there's going to be more to come. Folks, we're going to be back in swashbuckling garb next episode, which is going to be in a little over a month, so plenty of time for you to salivate as we jump back into the past and prepare to get some vengeance. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please support us if you can, and with that, we'll see you next time, mages. Good night, everybody. Mwah.